It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show. The Dep Lewis Show. It's the Dep Lewis Show.
Welcome to the best show that you'll ever know. It's the Dep Lewis Show, and it is episode 53. This is your host, Dep Lewis, and today is Sunday, October 15th, 2023, halfway through the month. Happy middle of October to you. Hopefully you're spooking yourself up and you're getting spooked and enjoying all the pumpkin things of the fall and seeing some leaves and, you know, wearing a hoodie and stuff like that. So welcome to the fall and welcome to the Dep Lewis Show. So I have a great show for you here today, talking about the video games and much more. And the first order of business, I like to tell you something to do, because I like to start off being bossy. Follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more on my Buzzsprout page. Basically anywhere podcasts are available. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. And then twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the ultimate place to follow. And I'll tell you more about that later in the show. And I have a great show for you today. We're going to have our normal 3 sections. The first section is what I've been playing, what video games I've been playing in the last week since I've talked to you. And let's see, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have a lot of games to talk about in that section this week. And the mid section is the miscellaneous talk section. The miscellaneous talk section. The mid section is where I talk about all the video game news of the last week, all the happenings across the video game world. So in the mid section this week, we have some hardware. We have a couple releases. We have a couple events. A couple announcements. And some legal things to talk about. So in the legal world. So that's very exciting. So the mid section should be pretty hot. And then the third section, the miscellaneous talk section, where I can talk about anything outside of video games. We're going to talk about some sports. And not the happiest sports moment for the Dep Lewis Show, but we're going to talk about some stuff and, get it off our chest at the end of the show. So, welcome to the show. And I'm glad you're here. I hope you had a great week since we last talked. Hopefully you played some video games. And let's see here. I want to talk some notes from last show. I don't have any particular notes. I want to just say a note to myself is to watch my ands and ums and my mic noises. I need to do better. I need to slow down in general is probably good advice. And what else? I also want to say that I need to do better about recording clips. I don't have any of those this week. I need to get back on the clip train. I need to start doing some Dep Lewis Shows off videos where I do like a short form video, maybe 20 minutes of me playing a video game that I have and showing it off and talking over it. So I need to do some more of those, and I plan on that. And I also need to get a streaming night set. So I need to plan all these things out, and I'm going to make an effort to do so. So I'm putting that here for some accountability. Hold on one second again. So that is my plan. Just some notes to myself there and notes to you about what I'm trying to do here on this show. I'm trying to bring you the best video game information I can. So let's get into it. So that is it. Welcome to the show. Welcome to episode 53 of the Dep Lewis Show. So the first section of what I've been playing this week, we're going to talk about some video games. That's what we're here to do. So the first game I'm playing is Spider-Man Miles Morales on the PS5. I played this game on the PS4 for a bit back in the day, but not too much. So now, since I have completed a game, I beat Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart last week. I'm on a mission to complete some more games, and I need to stick in the vein of short games. So Miles Morales says it's about 7.5 hours to complete if you're just doing the story. So I'm like, man, this is something definitely doable because I like this game. It's a short, it's not a huge commitment, and I really enjoyed checking the game off, completing it. So I need to keep this momentum going, and I've been playing. I think I'm about 25% of the way through this game. I've been doing a lot of the collectible stuff so far, and I've been pushing the story a little bit. And I still think I'm pretty close to where I was previously. So I'm about to get into some completely new stuff, which is cool. We have the upcoming Spider-Man 2 release, which comes out October 20th, 2023, if you're listening in real time. So I don't know if I'm going to be jumping on that train right away, but I am loving this Spider-Man Miles Morales. Let's see, a little bit of spoiler stuff. You're doing a mission for your uncle, and you find out he knows who you are, so that was pretty funny. I'm still liking the combat and the collecting. The collecting is a huge thing I like in this game because it's fun to move around the city. And the combat's very fun too. I like that there's so many options on how to fight these guys, and you're tackling so many enemies at once, and you don't feel overwhelmed because of all the moves you have in your arsenal, so it's pretty nice. Excuse me once again. voice is not cooperating today. It's troublesome. But yeah, the combat and the collecting is really fun. The swinging around is very fun. It's also good to listen to podcasts while you play this and just do some collecting. So I always like that. Or, if you're watching some sports or something like that and you want to play a game alongside of it, it's pretty perfect for that. The graphics are amazing. I've been choosing fidelity over performance these days, and that's been continuing on in most games. And I've really been enjoying that because I've just really been salivating over these lovely visuals and not really noticing the frame rate too much. I think it's just something you can get fixated on. And I don't know how necessary it is for how serious of a gamer I am. I just like to go in here and have some fun and relax for the most part. And Spider-Man, I'm excited about unlocking some of these new suits. I'm already able to unlock a few, but I really want to save up for some of the cooler ones or the ones that I haven't seen yet. So I feel like there could be some, in the first game, there was one of the coolest parts was changing your suits and finding your favorite one. So I've been loving all the upgrades. I've been loving the suits. Shout out to Insomniac. I think they're, one of my favorite developers. I was just listening to a podcast talking about, the big developers of Sony, like Insomniac, Naughty Dog, and Santa Monica Studios. And I don't know. I love Naughty Dog. I love Last of Us. I love Ratchet. And these Spider-Man games are way too fun. So, just shout out to this game. It's so much fun. Hopefully I'll just keep progressing in this game. And, looking forward to all the Spider-Man stuff. I still want to see the latest Miles Morales movie because I really enjoy those. Spider-Man 2 for PS5 is coming out next week, October 20th. Don't forget about that, $69.99. And you can play that on PlayStation 5. And then what are other thoughts do I have on Miles Morales? I've been liking the upgrade skills. I really like being able to spider zip twice in the air. So there's some cool platforming stuff that you're picking up as you go. I like that about it. And, I really liking the Spider-Man. And, there's a possible end in sight with it, which is nice. And that's kind of my overall plan right now for knocking out some video games. I know this is an old game, but it's something I think I can check off quickly and then, move along and keep progressing through my backlog and some of my newer stuff. So that is the plan. All right, so Spider-Man Miles Morales, recommend it. Not a new game, but still very fun. And then new Spider-Man coming out next week if you're interested in hopping on that train. All right, the next game that I've been playing is, was inspired by the game that I beat last week, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. So now I'm going back in time to Ratchet and Clank 2016. So I'm playing, the self-titled game Ratchet and Clank. I already own this. I played through some of this back in the day. I never completed it. Story of my life. So I am going through playing some of this, and it's been very fun too. It's been nice to have some more Ratchet to play. It is a little bit different, but I'm adapting pretty well to it and still getting pretty much the same enjoyment out of it. So I think I'm just kind of a huge Ratchet fan, it seems like. And let's see what I wrote some notes about this game. The commentary of the game, it's like an old story. So yeah, it's like the guy telling the story, through the lens of, oh yeah, there was once this Lombax and he did this and then this happened to him and then, oh yeah, we're going to see what happens next. And then he meets this robot friend and, oh, what are they up to? Like, it's kind of narrating the whole story, kind of like breaking the fourth wall. I don't know if that's what you call it, but it's kind of interesting. I like that it's different from Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Just in the sense that it's a little different. I don't know if it's better in any way because Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart just has a cool story that's kind of telling itself as you go. This is a little bit catching people up after not playing Ratchet for a while kind of thing. And then I was reading this came out alongside the movie, which is something else I might need to check out at some point. But let's see where I wrote that. I don't know where I wrote that. But it came out alongside the movie. Yeah, game is a tie-in to the 2016 film of the same name, as well as a remake of the first game in the series. So they really are trying to hook some new fans on here, and I guess that was kind of their game plan leading into Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, wanting that to be such a big deal. So it seems like they succeeded with that. But it's just a little bit strange to, after I'm playing like probably one of the best games in this series, Rift Apart, coming back to this where it's kind of like a trot down memory lane a little bit, more so than you're just playing like a normal story kind of thing. But still very fun, enjoying it, liking the combat. The shooting's a little bit strange. I picked the easiest mode and it put my controls on simplified, so I think I could probably rectify that problem, but I'm just going to roll with it. I'm just adapting to it. It is kind of, it's obvious. It's not, I kind of like saying the obviously thing, but it's different than the shooting in Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, which is more seamless and more modern, but this is fun. It's nothing too difficult I've encountered yet. You can shoot these people, you can throw your bombs, you can whack them with your Ratchet. And I've been using the melee a whole lot actually, and I feel like you're picking up more like ratchets and bolts on the map after you kill people. So I enjoy that part of it too, because it's fun to collect those things. So this has been fun. Let's see. I like the platforming a lot. Some of that's been actually kind of difficult and a little bit different than I'd say Rift Apart. A little more old school kind of platforming, jumping from platform to platform and things like that. And please excuse the sound out there. This is the multi-million-dollar Dep Lewis Show studio that's very sound repellent, or I don't know what it is, but perfectly conducive for recording a podcast. So thank you for being a wonderful listener. Just gonna say that in here. So what else? One thing I'm missing about this game of playing 2016 is missing the B move to boost, like in Ratchet Rift Apart. That was kind of shocking at first. You kind of get used to it, and then they assign some ability or something to B kind of early on. So then it kind of forces you to learn that new thing. But I really think Ratchet's so cool. I love the characters and the overall world in this game so much. So I think it's something I need to play more of. It feels so relaxing and good to play. It's easy to make some progress, and I really like I just really like the time I'm spending doing it. And this makes me want to play some of the older ones. So I went down a little bit of a rabbit hole of looking how I can play the older ones, and I found that the best solution is to subscribe to PlayStation Premium, because I believe I can play all the PS3 games on there. Streaming is the only negative, but I'm going to try that out at some point when I am feeling like playing some more Ratchet. So potentially after completing this game, maybe I'll subscribe to a month of PlayStation Premium and check out how those games are streaming on there, and if that's a good way to play them, because it really does. It has Into the Nexus, it has Crack in Time, it has the expansion, the Search for Booty or whatever it is, and I don't even know if it has some other ones, but really interesting. I really would like to get into some more of those, especially if I can earn some trophies from them. That'd be very fun. So I'm going to be hopefully on a little bit of a Ratchet and Clank kick. So we will see. It's in the perfect threshold of a short, fun game that I can complete. So I'm going to really kind of try to mash my head against some of these for the time being. So, Ratchet and Clank 2016 seemed very fun. And I'm going to continue playing some more of that as I feel like it. And the other game I looked into that, I was looking at what other games are like Ratchet and Clank that I could play. And one of the main ones was Jak and Daxter, which I've never played before. So that could be a cool substitute to play at some point too. They have a collection on PS5. I believe it's like $39.99, and it has 3 of the Jak and Daxter games. So that could be another series of some untapped potential. And it could be kind of the same style as Ratchet and Clank. So I really need to look into some more Jak and Daxter. And I'm trying to think what else they were telling me to look into if I wanted to play games similar to Ratchet and Clank. I don't remember, but Jak and Daxter was the big takeaway for me. And then also when I found out you can play all the older Ratchets, or most of the older PS3 Ratchets on PS Premium, then that really kind of stopped my search. I think I want to kind of go there next if I am able to complete Ratchet and Clank 2016. So 2 really great games I'm playing this week. And another game that I've started playing in the last few weeks, a multiplayer game, and it's Fortnite. You ever heard of Fortnite? It's a pretty great game. A lot of people have been playing it. I had one good stint with it back in the day, and now I'm back playing it again. A couple of my friends are playing this. So we've been making a point to get together and play some games every once in a while, and so that has led me down being a Fortnite person. And I've bought a skin for the first time. I am now rocking a Star Wars skin. The Jedi herself, Rey. I have her staff, and I have her little backplate thing. So I bought some V-Bucks for the first time. Really invested in some Fortnite. And the first solo game I played with my new skin, I got a Victory Royale. So things are going right for me. And I've also successfully put this on all 3 consoles. I have Xbox, PlayStation, and my Switch. I have my same profile and skins on all 3 consoles, so I can play on whichever one I feel like. You have an epic friends list within the game that you can just have your same friends on there from Xbox or whatever, or your other platforms, so it can kind of merge them all together, which is nice. So there's no worries there. And it was a little bit finicky for me to get this set up correctly, but you just need to know if you ever sign onto a console and play Fortnite for the first time, it's going to ask you if you have a profile. Most likely you're going to click continue without creating one, and it's going to create like a nameless profile for you. So if you ever want to link that to other consoles, you need to sign on to Epic's site with through the platform that you signed up for. So say you played on Xbox first, you want to go to Epic's site, you want to log in with the Xbox login, and it's going to prompt you to create an account. And then once you have your account, you can go in there into like the apps and connections or whatever it is, and you can connect the other platforms like PlayStation Network or Nintendo. But if you already have an account and then you created a nameless account, it could create the scenario where you go to look for your Xbox and it's already linked to the nameless account. So then the move there you need to do is you need to go to your nameless account, go through the account setup situation I just mentioned, or you need to put an alternative email in there. So you can go in and change it, and then you want to go in there and unlink it, and then you can hook it back to the other account. So it caused a little bit of trouble for me. I actually ended up having to buy the Ray skin twice because, I think I deleted a nameless account. I just wiped it without attaching it to an account or saving it. So, I made a little bit of an error, but it wasn't too bad because I was able to figure it out after, which was nice. So, those are my Fortnite skin warnings, but I'd say it's sort of easy to get them all on there. You just need to be a little bit aware of your accounts and which ones you played on. And if you plan on playing on more than one, I would say definitely, go create that profile now, just based off your one, and then you can link the other ones, and that would be the easiest way to do it. So, but Fortnite's really fun. Great game to get together for some multiplayer, talk to your friends, play some games, it's fun to play. The game looks great. It controls great. Simple enough, difficult enough. It's pretty fun. So play some Fortnite. And you can get it on all your consoles, and that's very helpful too. And I think that's all my Fortnite tips. Yeah, the console account stuff is a little bit funny, but so hopefully that helps somewhat. And obviously, you can go to the internet to look for some information there, but it was a little bit difficult. All right, the next game I want to talk about is a game that released this week. I think it was this week. Yeah, it was the 10th, I believe this game came out. It's Forza Motorsport. It's now available on Xbox, and it's available on Game Pass as well. So if you have Game Pass, you can go play this right now. This is developed by Turn 10 Studios. The back of the box talk says, immerse yourself in over 500 real cars across 20 world-famous tracks, including fan-favorite locations and multiple track layouts, each featuring fully dynamic time of day with weather and unique driving conditions. And I think those 20 famous tracks, too, have different iterations within them. So I think there's more than just, if you're expecting just 20 tracks. And there are more than 100 new cars to Forza Motorsport. I chose the Mustang to start. You can pick a Subaru, a Honda, or a Mustang. It's kind of like Pokemon, pick your starter. And I played maybe about an hour of this. I don't know how much I'll play. The cars look great. The feel looks great. The tracks are cool. The menu music was pretty good. And, it looks like a great one of these games. It's a great showpiece for what the console looks like. It's a fun racing game. And, I just don't know. I'm on this little kick of trying to complete some games. So Forza is kind of not more of an endless thing, but just not as clear of seeing some credits necessarily. But I don't know if that's true. But I just don't know if I'm going to be putting this on my list right now. I might play it just more sparingly. I do have it downloaded. I don't have too many games downloaded on my Xbox right now, and this is one of the main ones. So, available now if you're really looking for some cars to play. I think, if I only had one console or something, if I chose between PlayStation or Xbox, I would be into this a little more on the Xbox side because these games are really great and something I generally look forward to. So I always can recommend the Forza, and this one seems highly recommendable as well. So, go play some Forza Motorsport if you want to race some cars. All right, so that's all the main games I've been playing this week. I've bought some other games this week, so I want to tell you about those here in this section. So I have finally utilized the Nintendo Switch game voucher promotion. So with Super Mario Bros. Wonder coming out next week, if you're listening in real time, it comes out October 20th, 2023. So I know I'm going to buy that game. And there's been some other Nintendo games I wanted, so I finally decided to drop the $100 and get the two vouchers for the two Nintendo Switch game vouchers for $100. So you save $20 here is what you're doing over the course of buying two games. So I pre-ordered Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Comes out next week. And this upcoming week, if you're listening in real time. And I've also bought Pikmin 4. So I read Pikmin 4. It's about 16 hours to complete like normally. And I played the demo, and I really like this. I have some history with Pikmin. And another great game where I was feeling like I could play this and complete it, and it's relaxing and fun, and it seems like a perfect game for me to play. So I decided to pick Pikmin up. That's a new game I have along with Super Mario Bros. Wonder, which I'll be able to play at the end of this week. And so those are both games are both going to be fitting my my strategy of shorter games and styles of games that I really enjoy. So I'm trying to knock some games out here and complete some. So I have those two going. I played a little bit of Pikmin 4. Not too much to talk about it yet. I'm not really even past where I was in the demo. I'm pretty close to that, but I'll definitely be talking about that some more in the future. And then you'll be definitely hearing some Super Mario Bros. Wonder talk on the podcast next week because I'm going to be playing that as soon as I can. So some of these other games, talking about this plan of short games to complete, I have a little running list a small list right now. It includes Spider-Man Miles Morales, which we talked about, Ratchet and Clank from 2016, which we've talked about, God of War Ragnarok's kind of the The Pie in the Sky, it's the longest one. It has, I think, about 30 hours to complete, so it's definitely the highest on hour count, but something that has an easy difficulty, and I like the cutscenes, and could just be a cool game to play through slowly, so that's what I'm going to try to do there. Pikmin 4, Luigi's Mansion 3 is something I picked back up. A game I own, and I want to play some more of that, and it being October has been a kind of a cool time to pick that back up, so I started a new file on that, and then the upcoming Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And the other ones on this list, I also might want to buy Metroid Prime Remastered, are the only other games really I'm looking at right now for this list, and all those Ratchet games on PS Premium, maybe something added to this list. So I have a lot of good options right here. So we're going to see how the strategy goes for me completing some games. Possibly completing some new games in here too as well, like Super Mario Bros. Wonder and Pikmin, maybe some Metroid Prime Remastered, some games from the current year, and that could possibly jump them up on the official Dep Lewis Show Game of the Year list for 2023, which you will hear at the end of the year. So those have been all the games that I've been playing this week. I've been playing some Spider-Man Miles Morales, I've been playing some Ratchet and Clank from 2016, I've been playing some Fortnite, I've been playing some Forza Motorsport, and then I also picked up Pikmin 4 along with the Super Mario Bros. Wonder pre-order. I've been playing a little bit of Luigi's Mansion 3. I rebooted God of War Ragnarok, so I'm playing some games here, and hopefully continue having a pretty heavy game section here in the first section. I'll be telling you some good things and completing some games, and that is the plan for the Dep Lewis Show. So those are all the games I'm playing this week. We're going to take a quick break. You're going to hear some music, and then we're going to come back for the mid section. We're going to talk about video game news, what I've been seeing across the video game landscape in the last week, what I think is interesting and want to tell you about, and that's what I'm going to do. So please go take a break and come back in just a few to listen to the mid-section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 53. Welcome back to the mid-section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 53. This is the journey across the video game world and the landscape and the news and the headlines and all the announcements of the last week, the most important cool ones, and I'm telling you about them. So that's what we're going to get into here. So strap on your seatbelts and listen up. So the first thing I want to talk about is the PS5 Slim announcement. So they're not technically calling it a Slim, but it is a PlayStation 5 revision that has been announced. And there are some of the details. The console will be known simply as the new PS5, despite it being 18% lighter for the digital console and 24% lighter for the disk drive. What everyone wants, a lighter console. Even though I'm making a joke, the PS5 is a pretty bulky machine, so being lighter is a good thing. And also, its internals remain largely unchanged, though the console will not feature a 1 terabyte SSD. It will feature a 1 terabyte SSD instead of the 825 gigabyte SSD that shipped with the launch PS5. So that is pretty weird that it's 825. So they finally got it up to a terabyte. I don't know how big of a deal that is. If you buy a lot of digital games, a terabyte is probably, 5 or 6 giant games or 4 or 5 really big games, and you can obviously fit. Obviously, I keep saying that, but you can fit, a bunch of indies on there as well. They can sometimes only be a couple gigs or even less. So I haven't really had too many, storage issues, and I own a lot of digital games, so I don't know. But everyone's got their different issues. So this is coming out. This is let's see. So they're giving you some options here. These consoles basically look the same. If you just do a quick glance, you're not really going to notice too much of a difference. But these are improved versions of the PlayStation 5. So, that's a good thing. I think this is more, a slightly better version. Nothing too drastically here. You don't need to upgrade. If you're in the market for a PS5, this would be what you want to buy. Or maybe you can get an older console, a current style console for a little bit of a discounted price too. But I think either one of those options would be pretty similar actually. So, I don't know. It just depends on what you want. But let's see here. You can buy the cheaper digital edition and then add. So here's the difference. So for the digital edition here, you're able to add an Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive to it later on if you want to play physical games. So unlike the digital version now, I don't think you can use this add-on, but this one will have the option to buy an add-on if you want to use a disc drive on it. So, that's a good option. Would be cool if that was an option on the first thing as well. But, I don't think the end of the world either way. I like having the option. Might not be something I utilize, but I do appreciate the option. So let's see here. The new PS5 digital edition and PS5 with Ultra HD Blu-ray disc drive. So there's a disc and a discless version here is the same thing. Will go on sale beginning in November of this year, 2023, at, in parentheses, select local retailers. But the consoles will also be available to purchase from the official PlayStation Store. There's still no word yet on a timeline for the new PS5's international release, with Sony only saying that it will roll out globally in the following months. So PS5 with the Ultra HD Blu-ray drive will cost $499 US dollars, and the PS5 digital edition will be $449 US dollars. So the interesting thing there is the digital version being $449 is $50 more expensive than the current digital version, which is $399, and that's the version I have. So I don't know. I definitely think if I was offered the two choices, I would choose the less expensive one. But if you are really unsure, or if you have a big backlog of, PlayStation 4 games, and you might not want to drop the cash right away, that could be a good option. So, I think it's cool to have the option. I can't really hate on that too much. It just might not be anything for me here, is what I'm saying. So let's see. My general thoughts on this. Slight change and more expensive. That's a little bit true on the digital one. You can add a disc slot eventually to the digital if you want with an additional purchase. So I think that's good. I was thinking maybe they shouldn't promo this so much, and I guess they really haven't. So, I think if they just kind of market this as just a slight evolution and more status quo than some big change, I think that's probably smart. I think it would be a little bit incorrect to market it as something, a big change or something you need to buy. I think it should be a little more low key about this, and that would be my my advice to them as a company. And they should keep this on the low and inherit all the purchases once the previous stock sells out. So hopefully you can still sell some of the old stock, possibly at a discount. Digital version would be the cheapest. The $399 version with no ability to get a disc drive would be the cheapest way to get into the next gen on the PlayStation side. So I think those will probably start selling pretty well. And you want to obviously, oh man, I'm going to start calling this the Obviously podcast. But you want to sell those stock out, and then you'll move on to these new iteration in the future. So decent time if you're in the market now for a console, or you possibly want to get a discount on the prior version. I think either way is good. And I was thinking to myself today, it's cool that the PlayStation is not hard to find. I just had another friend of mine buy a console, and I was just thinking, it's been 3 years since these consoles have been released. It really wasn't easy to find them for a couple years, and there's still a long life cycle left. So it's cool to see, people still buying these, people still wanting these. People are going to want this new iteration, and they'll be pretty lucky. Sometimes you do get lucky. Most of the time, if you wait, you can get slightly better version of the console for a similar price, and that's what's happening here. So, shout out to PlayStation 5. They have a new slim, parentheses called slim, version coming soon. Check out for more info in November, and I'll definitely keep you updated here on the Dep Lewis Show. All right, another game, or there's a game coming out in this upcoming week if you're listening in real time. I mentioned this in the first section, but it's Super Mario Bros. Wonder. This releases Friday, October 20th, 2023 for $59.99 on the Nintendo Switch. This is the next evolution of Mario Fun. I pre-ordered a digital copy through the Nintendo Store, and I used the Nintendo Switch game voucher for the first time to pre-order this. So 2 games for $100, you save $20. I got this and Pikmin 4, so I'm very excited for playing Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm definitely going to be playing it on release day, and it'll jump to the top of the rotation for pretty much, definitely on the Switch, for games that I want to complete. So I love some Mario. I'm excited for this. I have really turned my brain off of watching like post-release content and gameplay videos because I'm already sold. So I'm excited. But the back of the box talk here says its classic Mario gameplay is turned on its head with Wonder Flowers in the Super Mario Bros. Wonder game. These game-changing items can make some wonderfully weird stuff happen. Witness pipes coming alive, wreak havoc as a giant spike ball, and lots more. So I think this game is going to sell like hotcakes. I think everyone is pretty much sold on it. If you're a Mario fan, you want to play this. This is like one of the biggest releases left for the year. And I can't wait, and I can't believe it's next week. In Super Mario Bros. Wonder, I will be playing you and talking about you next week on the Dep Lewis Show. So shout out to Mario. Okay, the next game I want to talk about is Splatoon 3. It won Game of the Year for Dep Lewis Show in 2022. And the next Splatfest has been announced. So the next Splatfest will take place from October 27th through the 29th of 2023, Friday through Sunday. And this is U.S. Those are U.S. Dates. And the question here is, which would be the best friend, a zombie, a skeleton, or a ghost? So since we are in Spooktober and scary season, they are going with that theme as well. So the zombies, skeletons, or the ghosts. And to vote in-game, head over to the Splatfest stand in the middle of Splatsville to cast your vote and receive a free team t-shirt. You can wear this shirt in non-Splatfest battles to level up its stats, but remember that it'll have to be returned once the event is over. And I wrote here, should I pick team live on the show? I don't know. Maybe I'll do it closer to the Splatfest if I'm going to participate. I wrote that I should play some more Splatoon, but I need Nintendo Switch Online. So I really don't love paying for subscriptions, but I should maybe subscribe to Nintendo Switch Online since it is relatively inexpensive and it could allow me to play Splatoon 3 whenever I would like to. So we will see. I'll definitely keep you updated, but I want to let you know that there's a new Splatfest coming October 27th through the 29th. Okay, another game that is coming out relatively soon is Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3. This releases on November 10th, 2023 for $69.99 US. There has been a leak online revealing that at least some maps will be making a return from the Black Ops series. If the leaks are true, Call of Duty 2024 will mark the second Call of Duty title to use old maps as a means to bolster its multiplayer experience. And then in quotations, returning old maps for the second year in a row does start to throw into question the series' future. Is multiplayer now going to be a nostalgia trip? Will we be eventually getting a Call of Duty Mobile-esque game for consoles in coming years? Or is Call of Duty just going to pump out games with the annual release? So I read that quote somewhere. And I think those are good questions. And I was wondering, I like some of the earlier options, but I think Call of Duty is just going to continue pumping out games with the annual release. But I do think it would be cool if Call of Duty somehow made a game, like an everlasting game like Fortnite. And they could always redo it at some point and make a standard release, but just make Call of Duty, or like kind of like Nintendo's done with Mario Kart 8 Deluxe or Super Smash Bros. Ultimate. They kind of added everything into one game and updated it. But, the question is, what do they do next? And it's probably something smaller and more focused. But in Call of Duty's life cycle, maybe it would be a good option just to have Call of Duty as a game, and it gets updated with maps, and you can buy different packs and things like that. I don't know. I think that would maybe be like an it's not called everlasting game, but a living game, like more of a living game. I think Call of Duty would be a perfect option for that, and maybe it would be something they try. But this game comes out on the 10th in November. I don't think this would be something that I'm jumping to buy right away. I sometimes can get caught up in the hype of some friends buy it, and I do enjoy all my time pretty much with Call of Duty. But I've just played so much of it in my life, it's not kind of the priority to these days. But Call of Duty coming out in November. Okay, another collection of games that's been announced. It might not be something I want to play, but I definitely think it's interesting. Is Jurassic Park, the Classic Games Collection. So I think this is something that has existed already, but some more games are just getting added to it. I think that's the take here. And Limited Run Games has revealed that 2 more titles are being added to the Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park Rampage Edition. So previously, the collection included the NES, Game Boy, and SNES versions of Jurassic Park and Jurassic Park 2, The Chaos Continues. Now the publisher and retro game Preservationist has announced that the 2 highly popular Sega Genesis titles will also be included. Both games will come with all previously announced features such as in-game maps and save state, all packaged in the Carbon engine. So just a cool collection. I don't know if I've ever played these games. I think there's a chance I might have played one Jurassic Park game back in the day, possibly on SNES or Game Boy, and I did like it, but I don't know if it's something I would need to return to. But this is a very popular movie franchise, and video game probably has a cult following, so a lot of people are excited. Limited Run Games and I Am 8-Bit are cool sites. I think they're the same. I don't know if Limited Run Games is part of I Am 8-Bit, but there's some cool websites out there that you can buy, physical versions of these games if you're into that. So I've definitely, if I had all the cash in the world, I would be buying a lot of stuff from those websites, and I think you should definitely go check them out and put them on your wish list, or buy them or plan to buy them. They got a lot of cool stuff on there, and for games that indie games and things like that. So very cool. Go check out those websites and check out for the Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection, getting updated with some new games coming soon, I believe. I don't know if I saw a time frame, but on the Dep Lewis Show, the best place where you can get all the coolest info each week. All right, the last thing I want to talk about in this mid-section is the Microsoft acquisition of Activision. And they have completed officially the Activision Blizzard acquisition. Microsoft now publishes franchises like Warcraft, Diablo, Overwatch, Call of Duty, and Candy Crush. So a pretty decent deal. It cost them $68.7 billion US dollars. So, a few billions up there for this deal. Pretty big acquisition. Microsoft was trying to say, we're just a lowly third party in the gaming sector, but we can have a $68 billion deal, no big deal. We could drop that cash. So, strong gets stronger is what's happening here. This required 20 months of battles with regulators in the UK and the US. They defeated the Federal Trade Commission, the FTC, in US federal court. They won their court case. And then Phil Spencer said, today is a good day to play. We officially welcome Activision Blizzard King to Team Xbox Together, we'll create stories and experiences that bring players together in a culture, empowering everyone to do their best work and celebrate diverse perspectives. So the other question was, when will we see some of these new games on Game Pass? They say they will share more in the coming months, so I think that's a cool thing. I think getting more added to Game Pass as a current subscriber is always a nice option. And, I want to see these games come over. And some of these things we want to talk about exclusive later on in the future, but, that's a conversation for another day. But the long-awaited acquisition is officially cleared, so should spawn some more good news and information in the coming months and the future. So I'll definitely keep you updated here on the Dep Lewis Show, because that was a fun thing to follow and talk about. Kind of a different thing that I've been talking about on this show most of the time, talking about video games and releases and reviews and things like that. And it's fun, or not fun, but it's interesting to get some other kind of video game content on there that has a little more mainstream media appeal, like a big court case going on in the public of a huge company. So very interesting, very cool. And just come back every week to the Dep Lewis Show for all the coolest info and across the video game world. So that's going to wrap up the midsection this week of episode 53. We talked about the PS5 Slim-ish announcement, the release of Super Mario Bros. Wonder coming out next week if you're listening in real time. Splatoon 3 has a new Splatfest coming up at the end of the month. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 3 is coming out next month. Jurassic Park Classic Games Collection is getting some new Jurassic Park games added. And the Microsoft acquisition of Activision is officially complete. So thank you for listening to this section. We're going to take one more quick break. We're going to come back for the Miscellaneous Talk section of this show. So we wrapped up all the video game talk for this week in the Miscellaneous Talk section. I can talk about anything I want to outside of video games. And this week it's just going to be a quick hit. We have a few sports things to talk about. My sports teams are a little down bad at the moment, so it's going to be a quick Miscellaneous Talk section, but we're going to go to that in just a minute. So you definitely want to hear it. Don't go nowhere. And go take a quick break and come back and listen to the final section of the Dep Lewis Show, episode 53, in just a few. Welcome back to the final section of Dep Lewis Show, episode 53. This is the Miscellaneous Talk section. This is where I talk about anything from the prior week, but outside the video game world. Usually sports, and this week is going to be sports, so that's what we're here to talk about. I mentioned my teams are kind of down bad, so this is going to be a downtrodden, depressed, sad, moody, emotional Dep Lewis Show sports talk section, but that's how it's going to be sometimes. So the Carolina Panthers, last Sunday's game at Detroit Lions, was a 1 p.m. game. The results, they lost pretty badly. I watched the first half, and then some of the start of the second, and then I was traveling and listening to it on the radio, and it was never close. It was all some garbage time scores. At least the Panthers got in the end zone and, didn't have 3 points or something like that. But they were never close. Wasn't competitive. Just not looking so good for them. And they're playing the Dolphins today at 1 o'clock. Brian Burns has been a little banged up. Who else? Miles Sanders is out. Chuba Hubbard's going to be getting a lot of carries. I think one or the other. Derek Brown's on the injury report now, too. A lot of trade rumors around Chin, Burns. Pretty much everybody. Also some, trade rumors about getting a receiver, but they were talking about Jared Jeudy in the news, and then Steve Smith Sr. said Jared Jeudy is not who he recommends that a team gets, and then, I don't know. The Panthers haven't won a game. The line's 14, I think it's 14 and a half today to cover, and that's probably, I don't know if it's going to go up anymore, but I'm getting trolled by my friends about the Dolphins, how bad they're going to work them, so it's a rough time out here for the Panthers, but I'm going to watch the game today. Hopefully I can report something good back next week. I just don't know. I want to see some Bryce Young flashes, and let's see him maybe run around a little bit, throw the ball downfield. I think that's what we're going to have to do. So let's try it out. Nothing's been working, so let's see. Let them loose. let the juice loose, and we'll see what happens. So Carolina Panthers, still a fan, still the official NFL team of the Dep Lewis Show, but need something to be hopeful about this season. It's not a lot of excitement so far, so we will see. All right, something else that's not exciting to talk about, the official MLB team and the official team of the Dep Lewis Show, the Atlanta Braves. Their season is over. They're going fishing. They lost to the Phillies and just this week, so a pretty up and down roller coaster week for me. I went to the game Monday night in Atlanta where they had the comeback, where they had the 2 bombs late, the Austin Riley bomb to take the lead. It was amazing, one of the best sporting events I've been to. I went with the great guest of the Dep Lewis Show, Sanfi. We saw Max Fried, who didn't do so well. But we got to see a W. That's definitely going to be the last highlight of the season for me. And one of the, at least one of the highlights of my sporting memories was going to that game. I bought a cool hat. We had some good food. It was really, really fun. I got to drink a Frenchie's Blues, which was lived up to the hype. I've been wanting to have that beer for a long time. It was delicious, and we tracked it down, and we had a lot of time to sit there and enjoy it, and it was just really fun. But after that highlight on Monday, the great trip to Atlanta, living it up off that win. The Braves lost to the Phillies Wednesday 10-2, and then they lost to the Phillies 3-1 to end the season up in Philly, and the Philly fans were heckling the Braves and going in and having the most fun, and the Phillies dominated and had home runs, and Bryce Harper had his moments, and Castellanos was bombing, and Trey Turner was playing good, and their pitching was doing great, and our pitching wasn't doing so hot, and our bats weren't going, and it was just sad. So I don't know. The season's over. It was a good season. Braves were in the postseason. It was a quick end. It was kind of the sad part about it. Really was kind of bummed about that, just it being over. I love baseball so much, and my team going out in that fashion is sad. And you watch all the games during the season, but that's how it goes. There's only one team that can win. I don't think the Braves did anything too poorly. I think they had a good shot at it. I think they just weren't grooving it or hitting the rhythm at the right time. And I saw they were asking Alex Anthopoulos if he was going to make a lot of changes, and he's like, no, not really. And I kind of agree with that. I think this team had a pretty historic, or did have a historic regular season. And, you're just not going to win every time. It's not how it goes. And they were adding some more variability in here with some more teams getting in and things like that. And, people talk about should they be having all the rest. And, I think you can argue that the rest could help, the rest could hurt. And, I don't know. You got to go out there and play what these people get paid to do. And I think those excuses are kind of lame. I think the Braves have a good team. I think they still going to have the same good core team for many years. And I don't think they should make some drastic change. I think they should add some small pieces. Obviously, you always want to try to improve. But, I think some of the fans are going a little overboard with being mad at the team or whatever. People are mad at Arcia for some of his antics, and that was a bad look. Him in the club out making those funny faces. I've definitely felt like that in my life before, and you feel bad about it, and it's not the mature thing to do. But your emotions can get you. It happens to everybody. I don't think that makes him evil or makes the whole season a moot point. I think that's kind of crazy, and I think obviously he should try to get better from that. But not a good look. Ronnie was trying to stop him from doing that, and then people are mad at Ronald for not talking at the end of the game. But, Ronald's not the biggest talker in the media anyways. He's most of the time talking through a translator. He's very emotional. He's still a young guy. I mean, give him a break. He didn't play so well in these games, and it wasn't the outcome he wanted. And, give him a break. I had a great season. They gave us so many memories, and then you get mad at them for losing, It's just more sad that it's over than being mad at them for me. But, go Braves. Had a great season. I'll be looking forward to March. I think it's March 28th, 2024, and I think it's the Phillies is the first series of the season, so can't wait. I'm going to miss it. I'm a de facto Rangers fan now for the end of the season, and then I'll go for the Diamondbacks, I guess, on the other side. And those are my two choices, and I'm going to miss you, Braves baseball. I love watching some playoff baseball. Still a little bittersweet, and, keep talking about the Braves. I definitely keep talking about them on the show over the course of the winter, keeping you up with the news, but be a little bit less Braves heavy in this section. So I need to, I got the Panthers, but they're kind of down. So I don't know. This section, my sports teams is not looking so good right now. We do have some basketball starting up soon. I'm an Atlanta Hawks fan, and now I'm a Charlotte Hornets fan. So I should be going to some Charlotte Hornets games this year. The first game of the season is Hawks at the Hornets, so that's something I'm going to try to go to for sure. So those are my two favorite teams matching up, and the season will be starting, so that gives me something to watch and talk about. So prepare for some NBA talk in the sports section, starting next week. Well, yeah, in a little over a week. The season for the Hawks and Hornets starts on the 25th. So just want to prepare you for that, and hopefully have some good sports news. Maybe the Panthers are going to win today. Maybe I think that's all I don't know. We'll see. I think the Panthers have a bye coming up one of these weeks too, but we'll see. Either way, I'm a fan. Hopefully you're a fan too, or at least, cheer them on a little bit for me and help them out, because that would be nice. And we're going to be back next week for some more miscellaneous talk and some more video game talk and some more Dep Lewis Show talk and all the video game news and information that you need. So, just thank you for listening to the show. That's going to wrap up the final section, and in turn, that is going to wrap up the show. So just thank you so much for listening to the show as always. I want to, re-promote myself some more. Please follow Dep Lewis Show everywhere. Like, subscribe, rate, comment, review, turn on notifications, tell a friend. Email any questions or feedback to DepLewisShow@gmail.com. Full episodes of Dep Lewis Show on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Google, YouTube, Patreon, and more. My Buzzsprout page. Clips are on YouTube and TikTok. Twitch.tv/DepLewisShow is a great place to follow. And then Patreon.com/DepLewisShow is the greatest place to follow. If you'd like to support the show in the highest fashion, there is a $1 a month ground floor tier. This is a general support tier for the show. You also get ad-free versions of any video on Patreon. So that's how it works. So this is for the first 100 subscribers only, and the price will never change. So you'll have access to all Dep Lewis Show Patreon content always. So this is an investment for your entertainment future. So my plan after I hit, the first 100 subscribers, I'm going to create, the normal tier, the normal price tier for, getting access to the content. And at that point, I'm going to try to add some additional content onto the Patreon just for those 2 level of subscribers. So ground floor tier, you'll always pay $1. You'll get access to any tier above. And then after we get the first 100, we'll introduce the normal price tier, and they'll get access to the new content as well. So that is the plan for the show. So please go subscribe now. Get in for that $1 discount would be great. And just thank you for any support. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being you. Hope you had a great week playing video games. Hope you made a lot of money. Hope you had a lot of fun. Hope you ate something good. Hope you got a promotion. I hope, I just hope you had a great time. And just thank you always for listening to the show. I'll be back next week for episode 54. But this has been episode 53. And I'll be back next week to talk about video games and much more. So please don't miss it. And just thank you as always, and see you next time. Have a great one. I'm out. Give your dog a pet. Do something nice. Pat McAfee says, tell someone something nice. So that's a good advice too. So peace out. See you next time. Dep Lewis Show. See you next week for episode 54.